Hey, how's it going guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I showed you the step-by-step how you can change the spark plug of your Honda CRF300L. Let's get started. If you're interested to get the same spark plug that I'm using here, so this is a spark plug, I'll leave the model here for you, NGK Iridium, and here is the product code. If you have a Honda CRF300 Rally, what I'm going to show here is 90% applicable to you. You just have a bit of extra plastics, but I'm pretty sure if you follow the video, it will also help you out. Very important here, the actual job of changing the spark plug itself, removing the spark plug, it's not that hard. It's just a way to access the spark plug that it takes a bit of time. So it is very important that you have the correct tools to do that. Otherwise, you will not be able to access the spark plug. Now, this has been considered with the Roia Moto Tool Kit. I know I keep repeating this on every video, but I promise to you guys, this is the absolute best tool kit for the Honda CRF300L and Rally. We have for many other motorcycle models. It has everything that you need for this model. And of course, it accounts for the fact that you need to access the spark plug. So if you're not aware of it, check it out, royamoto.com. I think you're really going to like what we're offering here. Now, you'll also need a torque wrench. The torque wrench, of course, it's not included with the toolkit, but it's not something that usually you would carry on a toolkit when you're out riding to have a torque wrench for obvious reasons. And you could be asking, why is it important to learn this? Well, one is for the preventive maintenance. If you're doing that at home, that's a great way for you to learn how to do it. Workshops can charge quite a little bit for service hours because it takes quite some time to get to the spark plug. And the second reason would be if you're out riding and you get water inside your engine. So you drop the motorcycle on a river cross, or you have the doubts that you have water inside the combustion chamber where the piston is. This is a huge risk, and you should not crank the motorcycle if you have doubts that you have water. There's a thing called the hydro lock. In other words, in here, if you get water inside the combustion chamber, as the piston is coming up against the cylinder head, the top of the cylinder head, water does not get compressed. So this would literally hit the piston against the cylinder head. That can have an impact on your crankshaft. So it's not a good idea. If you drop your motorcycle on a river crossing, before you just go desperately trying to crank, you need to make sure that you don't have water inside the cylinder head. One way to do that when you're out riding is by knowing how to access and remove the spark plug. So you would remove the spark plug. So now you create a hole that the water can escape through. Then you can crank the engine, and the water will get expelled from your combustion chamber. So it's a very good skill to have, and that's what I'm going to show to you. So with this introduction out of the way, now yes, let's get started. To get this side fairing out, we first need to remove the seat. So I'm going to undo this bolt here on both sides. Now let's get this bolt out also with the Allen bit number 5. So following here the side plastics, up here you have a plastic pin. You want to press right in the middle of this pin. Gonna hear a click, then you can pull it out with your fingernails. Let's go ahead and pull the plastic out. To get this plastic out, we have 3 bolts in here. 1, 2, and 3. All of them also with the Allen bit number 5. Now taking a look from the front of the motorcycle, here where you have this plastic for the radiator, there's another plastic pin in here that you have to press in the center and pull out with your fingernails. At this stage we can get this plastic fairing out. There will be some velcros in here, but you just have to pull it and it will come out. Like this. Now looking at the cover, the plastic cover of the radiator, down here you have this plastic pin. You just have to push it in and then slide it to the side like that. And then you're able to wiggle it out like this. Now we want to loosen the radiator. I recommend to switch into the extension that comes with our kit, the longer extension, so you have easy access to go like this. Okay, so the radiator is loose now. An important tip for you here, don't fall into the temptation to just try to yank this radiator out of its position. Even though we have loosened it from the motorcycle, from the frame, it is still connected to hoses. You have some sensors in here. You have the radiator fan behind. So you don't want to pull this too strong. You want to move it just enough, okay, and slowly. Just watch what you're doing so you don't pull too much on any of these cables. And we only have access from this side. I'm going to show to you now where the spark plug connector is. It's access from this side. As I pull it here to the side, okay, like this, Our guy is right there. See, this is the spark plug connector. You will notice because it is rubberized and is right there. Before we pull the spark plug connector out, I recommend you to take a paper towel or a cloth, a rag, and you want to clean on top of the cylinder head around the spark plug connector. This is to ensure that we don't get any dirt inside of the cylinder head. Now you have a view from the right side of the motorcycle. Right here where you have this brown clip in here, this plastic clip, you're gonna push, okay, on its top and also at the bottom, so you can unhook from the holder. And as you push it like this, you press it towards the inside, so it's gonna loosen it. So we get this connector here out of this bracket. If you turn this connector around, you'll see that there is a small plastic clip in here. If you press on it, it will unhook from the other side. So I press, push, so I disconnect them. The next thing I recommend you to do, this hose in here, we're also going to disconnect this. So there's this metal clip. You're gonna press this metal clip so it releases the pressure from the hose, and then you pull it, push it or pull it towards the outside like this, and now you're able to disconnect the hose like this, okay? Now let me show you the next part that we are going to disconnect. And all of this, once again, is to make our life easier. So this guy in here, where we have just disconnected the hose, is fixated in place by 2 bolts. This one, and there's another one on the opposite side. If you just follow this black bracket in here, there on the other side, there's a bolt as well. For these bolts, you're going to need an 8mm hex. The access is quite restricted, but the tools that come with our toolkit already consider that, okay? So I can also reach there the next bolt. So now I'm unscrewing the other bolt. Now once you get started and you loosen these bolts, because just at the beginning it will be hard, then I recommend you to go with your fingers, because you don't want to drop these bolts. So let's go ahead with our fingers. And now we're going to go for the one that is more on the inside. Maybe my fingers will block the view of the camera, but you know what we're talking about. So there it is. Next thing we're going to do, the same way you have disconnected this hose in here, there's the same idea on the opposite side. So press on the metal clip, move the clip away from this plastic part, and I have already done now the metal clip. Now you'll see that we have this cable in here, and this cable ends up on this sensor. To disconnect this sensor, you're going to press like this, okay? From top to bottom, you press, and then you push it out, like that. Finally, we can pull this air chamber from the hose. Now look how beautiful this is. Right here is our spark plug connector. Here's the cable, and here's our spark plug connector. So you see that you get a lot of room now to work from this side of the motorcycle. That's a good time to go ahead and once again clean up a little bit more. So you do it from both sides, right? From the side of the radiator guard, where I showed you before, and from this side. Just get the rough stuff out from the top of your cylinder head. Next step is going to be to pull the spark plug lead out. So I'm coming with my hand here from the opposite side of the radiator guard, and I can also help with my opposite hand on this side. And we need to pull it up like that. See there? Okay, so now we're going to find a way. Just go slowly to push it out. And there it is. So this hole that you're seeing in there, that's where the spark plug is in. Here you have the throttle cables and the clutch cable, and they are hooked onto this wire here, so this hook. So you're going to push it up to unhook them like that. So it's straightforward, just push it, and now they're loose in here. If you follow the throttle cable and the clutch cable, you're gonna see this plastic loop in here. See here? It's made of plastic. You just have to untangle it, and then it will also further release the cables like this. Hope I get you there a good view, but you see there? Now they're even further released. So now the job of removing the spark plug actually starts. So up to here is just preparation. Here's what you're going to need. Once again, all of this is included with our toolkit. So you need the spark plug socket, the articulated joint, and the longer extension. So that's for now, and you're going to assemble like this. Spark plug socket, articulated joint, and the extension. And I'm going to show it to you how you're going to attack here the spark plug. We are going to introduce the spark plug socket, extension, and universal joint from this side in here, okay? Like this. And for you there at home, imagine where the throttle cable and clutch cable, they were routed through. That's more or less where we're going to go, okay? So it's going to take the place. So I'm putting it behind the throttle cable, so not towards this side of the throttle cable and clutch cable, but I put it towards the inside, closer to the frame of the motorcycle. So it's going to enter here, and now I give you a view from the opposite side. So I hope you can see there the socket, you see there. Now using my left hand, I'm guiding it inside of the hole. Right now it's pointed inside the hole. So there it is going in. See, we're going in. If you need to move the radiator a little bit, go ahead and do it. And here is how you're going to feel that you have caught the spark plug. Right now, you see I can spin the socket. I'm spinning it. Now you can imagine that once the socket locks in place, that will not be possible. So I'm still going to push it forward, push it more inside. Now I'm really inside. And I'm unable to spin the extension. So that's the indication that I was looking for, when I'm unable to spin it. Back to the side of the radiator, if I pull it like this, here you can see the top of the extension. And here is from this side that we're going to work on the spark plug. Now back to the toolkit, what you're going to need. You need to take the small extension, and there is an adapter that is 1/4 to 3/8 adapter. We're going to put this one on top of the extension. Then you take the adapter that is a 3/8 to 1/4 that comes in here. So that's how we are going to now turn the extension that is right there on the motorcycle. If you're not removing the fuel tank, which would be another way, you could remove the fuel tank to give you even more space, but the access to the spark plug is very tricky, and you need to have the correct combination of adapters, articulated joint, and extensions to make this job as easy as possible. This is very fiddly. When you're doing it at home, it will be fiddly, so don't be surprised. So that's why I'm trying to show you as much as possible the step-by-step in each position, and if you have the correct tools, it will not be hard. Pull the radiator to the side. Now come in with this setup that I just told you, and now we're going to connect everything. Now what I like to do, I'm putting my hand on the extension, on the longer extension, holding it as I press this to connect. Now we are connected. So here's a view of the setup. See right there? We are connected to the extension like this. See? And that goes all the way inside the cylinder head. So it's quite a long way to get it done. So there it is. We are now unscrewing the spark plug. Now I can remove the ratchet. Continue here with my fingers. Now you will know that you have unscrewed enough, because when we pull now, hopefully we pull the socket out, we're gonna see the spark plug in there. And it is, okay? Let me see if you can catch that on the video. But right there is the spark plug. Here it is. Now I'm going to show you a second method. So I'm going to put the spark plug back inside the engine. But hold on a second, I recommend that you watch this, because this version of the spark plug socket in here is a magnetic spark plug socket, okay? And on our toolkit previously, we had a rubberized spark plug socket. So there was a rubber that grabs here on the tip of the spark plug. It is also possible to do with that too, but I have received some feedback that some riders find it harder to do it with the rubber instead of the magnet. There is a reason why, an additional reason why our toolkits, they come with magnets. So let me show to you now the second method if you're finding it hard to do it with a spark plug socket that has a rubber O-ring inside. Every Roia Moto tool kit or tool roll has a magnetic area. So we have a magnetic pocket in here. And just using another tool makes it easier. Okay. And then I go inside, a little bit inside the pocket, and you have a magnet. Okay. So now we are going to use this magnet to pull the spark plug out. So it's exactly the same idea. Let me show to you. Using the longer extension and the articulated joint, take the magnet and put it right on the tip. So just stick the magnet like this, okay? So there it is, my extension with the articulated joint. I just stick the magnet there to the tip. Let's go inside of the hole. I already heard the click. I hope you can catch this on the video. And there it is, our spark plug out. So now I hold it in here, get the spark plug. Now the video is not yet finished, but I hope that up to this point I have managed to convince you that you can do this at home with confidence. Main things here is you need a bit of patience, you need to create a space, clean environment, and it's very important to have the proper tools. This job here, I would be lying to you to say that it's possible to do it if you don't have the right tools. You need to have the right tools to do it, otherwise it will just be impossible. You're not going to be able to access the spark plug and pull it out. So make sure that you have the right tools, either the Roia Moto Tool Kit or a different tool. But the most important, I hope that by watching this video, I've been able to help you to understand what is the effort and the tools required to do it. Now the next step is to remount everything, and I'm also going to show to you step by step so you feel confident to do it at home alone. Let's now start remounting everything. Take your new spark plug, connect it here to the spark plug socket, like this. What you want to pay attention is that when you're going in and passing through all these cables and hoses and the frame, make sure that you don't hit here the tip of the spark plug. So you want to have a clean way to reach all the way inside of the hole where the spark plug is located. So that's my only recommendation here. Take your time, go slowly, don't force it, don't go on fast. You want to go slow on this part. So here I am coming from the side. And at the same time, I'm going to take my left hand and guide. I'm protecting the tip of the spark plug with my hand, guiding it all the way inside of the hole, okay? So really take your time in here. This part here, you want to do everything by hand, okay? And I'm not using the ratchet, I'm not using the torque wrench. Very important, you want to make sure that you feel that the spark plug has catched the thread by hand. So it's a delicate job. Don't go fast because you don't want to risk cross-threading the threads of your spark plug socket inside your cylinder head. That is very bad news. So you're doing this by hand. I'm going very lightly here. It is turning, but this is a soft job, okay? If I feel any resistance, there's something wrong. So here I am still going with my fingers. Now, right now, okay, there is a resistance and I'm unable to put any further torque by hand. I can't. This is not spinning, I can't. So now I know that the spark plug has seated. But all the way through, I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to make sure that you do this correct at home. It was everything very soft and by hand. Now I can bring my torque wrench. The torque spec listed on the Honda CRF300L and Rally manual is 16 Newton meter. If you don't have a torque wrench, I'll still give you a tip how to do it. But here I'm going to do it with the torque wrench so you get the full version. Once the spark plug is fully seated, that means I can no longer turn it by hand. Then let's just observe here where I have the spark plug. Okay, so there we have it. So you can take a look in here, okay, of how much I have turned from the moment that it has the spark plug seated against the cylinder head to until I got a click for 16 Newton meter. It was this distance in here, okay, so this is much less than half a turn. So half a turn would be all the way up here. So that's an approximate value, okay, but that it gives you at least a guidance. If you're doing without a torque wrench, you are not cranking this all the way to the other side. So now let's take your spark plug connector and let's put it inside again. And how will you know when you connect it? Well, you're going to just press it in here, okay? But it's a single click. There it is. I hope you could catch that on the video. So, and now I'm looking here on top of my spark plug connector, and I see that it is fully seated against the cylinder head. So that's all good to go. Just double check, make sure you're fully in. Now let's hook again the clutch cable and the throttle cables. Remember that there was this plastic loop here in the middle for the clutch cable and throttle cable. So do that one again. So here now we have our air mass sensor. That's the one we're going to reconnect now. There are two tubes in here, and here's the port for the plug, okay, for the connector. This is towards the inside of the motorcycle. I like to start by connecting the hose first. So take the hose. Once you reattach, don't forget the metal clip. So bring the metal clip like this. Now we are going to take the bracket, and here on this side you can see where this screw goes. So that goes in here. We're going to put the screw and the bracket, and all of this connects here to this plastic, to the radiator fan guard. So just find the position, and you're going to start by hand. I'm unable to give you an angle with the camera as my hand needs to be in front, but I think you get the point. You will find a hole in there for this bolt. Okay, once it gets started, I'm already going to take the next bolt and also pass it through in here. Let's take the ratchet with the 8mm socket and finish tightening these bolts. This is hand tight, okay? Don't need to tighten them a lot. You don't need a lot of torque in here. Now we have to connect again this connector in here, and that's the position it's gonna go. You see here up top you have this kind of squared section. So put this one inside, line it up with the airflow sensor or the mass sensor, air mass sensor. Line it up in there and push it until you hear a click. There it is, we got a click. So that's back on. Now we can do this hose. Make sure that the hose seats all the way. We use the metal clip again to make sure it's locked in place, doesn't come loose. Now we have the oxygen sensor of the motorcycle. So connect this one like this. Once it is connected by this brown clip, you connect it in here, like that. You can hook the cable in here. But I'm not going to do this now. First I'm going to fix the radiator, and then I'll hook the cable in here. I don't want to put pressure on this cable. Okay, so let's do the radiator now. Using the longer extension of the kit, plus an 8mm hex. This is also hand tight. You don't need a lot of torque in here. Since now we have reconnected all the plugs, hoses and the spark plug, before we go ahead and finish assembling the motorcycle, it's a good step for you to go and test that everything is working. So let's go ahead and do this now. Let's hook the O2 sensor back in here. Radiator cover. Here on these sides you have pins that they line up against the radiator itself. So push these in, and here at the bottom you have another pin, so you press it and light it up in here. So here now we come with the side plastics. Press the two velcros that are in here against the fuel tank. So now here adjust the plastic cover of the radiator with the side fairing, and then you get your plastic clip again. There's a hole here up top. 3 bolts on the fairing, 1, 2 and 3. Reconnect the other side fairing. Up top there is this black plastic pin that goes between this plastic and this plastic. Now we reconnect this bolt. Let's mount the seat again. So let me just ask you a final favor in here. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure that you subscribe. I have tons of maintenance videos here for the CRF300L, also some videos for the Rally. And if you haven't yet, make sure to check out roiamoto.com. You could see here in real life how is to use the toolkit to make a more complex maintenance job at home. Everything has been taught for the Honda CRF300L and also for the different motorcycle models that we offer. This is a compact, lightweight, high quality tools, and the most important, you really don't have to think about it. So you can see here it can get quite complex, but the tools that you need to do the job on your motorcycle will be there. That's it guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and I see you on the next one. Bye bye.